And welcome back to the part 2 of Down with the Browns Draft Day special. We got a very special guest here tonight. The greatest hat company, 1/3 of the greatest hat company ever to grace God's green earth. It's State Line Co. And it's Cullen Bohannon.
Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you. I'm in my fake basement.
Fake basement. It's a really nice fake basement. I'll tell you that right now. I love the.
That is a great mug or like a cover. Nice jersey on the wall. Whoever's basement this is phenomenal.
It's a Taki jersey.
That ain't a Taki. That's an Ernest Bonner. You don't.
I didn't even know.
Taki jersey.
BYU legend Taki.
See,
I feel like Peyton Manning on the Manning cat, or what's his name on Pat McAfee with the fake books behind him.
Yeah,
yeah. Except my.
Those are fake.
I've used up all my minutes in jail to get on this podcast.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That is awesome.
So Abdul Carter at number 2 or Travis Hunter at 2?
Listen, it is 100%. I have been all day today, have been talking about Abdul Carter, number 2. There's something tangible about the legend there is, Abdul Carter. Don't be a fool, draft Abdul. You gotta realize, you gotta hone in on what it would be like to have Abdul Carter and a Myles Garrett on the same offensive line. You got to think about it. And the only thing that I'm saying, Cullen, is when I'm talking about Travis Hunter, people talk to me about this guy who's just a fisherman. He's amazing. The athleticism. He played Kansas, Cullen. That's a basketball school. And had a hard time with Kansas Jayhawks.
Yep.
I can't take it. I can't take it anymore. It's 6 hours. Yes, I have an Abdul Carter jersey. Yes, it's stitched. May or may not be fake. Don't look too closely at the screen. But I don't know. Cullen, who do you want at number 2? And tell me why. Help me out.
I think Abdul Carter. I love it. No, I'm just kidding.
Come on! No!
Get him!
I don't know how much on both sides of the ball Travis Hunter's going to be able to play in the NFL. There's no way he plays on both sides of the ball like he did in college as far as the number of snaps. But if you can add a very solid wide receiver, you guys are going to have to do something with quarterback this year. Like whether it's in the draft or, I love Joe Flacco. I'm not going to say that he's going to be your savior, but y'all, like the Browns have to figure out something on offense because Myles Garrett has dominated on defense for years, and if you can't score points, it's going to be tough to win. But Travis Hunter on both sides of the ball, I think, is a win-win. Yeah. I don't think he's going to play as much as he did in college, and I don't think he's going to be the dual threat that what's his name was years ago, Woodson or whatever. I think it's got to be Travis Hunter in my opinion.
See, I think Manny keeps pushing this agenda, and he's trying to get 2 really nice like Ferraris or Lamborghinis, but he's trying to park them in front of like a trailer, you know. He's trying to park them there instead of being realistic, getting the nice house with a nice garage and, getting your, Suburban, throwing that in there, getting, keeping it realistic, getting Travis Hunter, The problem is you can't tell me, okay, first and foremost, you can't tell me that the conference that they play in isn't a little bit scary. It's a little bit scary. It gives me some cause to pause because I'm not sure if I trust how well he's tearing up the offense. Again, and
It sounds like I am a Travis Hunter hater, but I am not a Travis Hunter hater. I don't mind Travis Hunter. It's 1A and 1B. I really can't stand Shedeur Sanders. That's the person I really have. I cannot stand Shedeur Sanders. I'll take anybody else. You offer me Tyler Show 2 overall. I'll take Tyler Shough. I think, to me personally, I really don't trust it. I really don't like it at all. I will say this though, Colin. I do have a question for you here, because I've asked this to everybody. If you were to take Travis Hunter, would you double dip at quarterback later on in this draft? Would you double dip? And if you did double dip in quarterback and draft 2 quarterbacks in this draft, who were 2 quarterbacks that you kind of like? If you would.
I don't know that the 2 quarterbacks I like are going to both be there for you guys as part of the problem. Like I'm not going to say Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. Like I'm not.
Yeah. But outside of Kipling.
Man, I don't think Christian ain't gonna love this. I actually like Cam Ward better than I like Shedeur personally. I think Cam Ward had an unbelievable year at Miami. Now again, they were ACC, but man, Shedeur he's gonna take away so much from the Browns. Like if the season goes well, there's going to be so much off-field stuff that I think it just takes away from anything good Shedeur could do. And, I mean, the Browns – Cleveland needs wins on and off the field this upcoming season, something to build on. I mean, go to the playoffs and make a deep run. And I just don't see Shedeur being that guy personally. The second quarterback I really like in this draft, again, I don't think he's going to be there, but I really like Jackson Dart personally. I mean, at Ole Miss – Lane Kiffin fan. Dart tore up everybody but Kentucky this season, and
Florida.
Yeah, and Florida. But those are the 2 quarterbacks that I personally like the most in this draft.
So Bleacher Report just dropped their final mock draft for the first round. So at 1 they got Cam Ward, 2 they got the Browns taking Travis Hunter, 3 Abdul, 4 Will Campbell, 5 Ashton Genty, Armand Mimbu from Missouri, Jaheed Barron, 7. I'm going to see if they have another trade up in there, see where they got Shedeur going. So Walter Nolan at 12 or 13, Mike Green going 15. That's shocking. They have Cincinnati going offensive line, Tyler Booker. I'd like that. He'd be cooked inside. They got the Browns trading up to 20 and taking Shedeur Sanders. And then the Saints trading up to 21 and taking Jackson Dart, Pittsburgh.
I'll tell you a quarterback I did like. I hate that he played there this year, but I started to say it earlier. Louisville's quarterback, Tyler Shough. I mean, granted, he's like 25 years old, but I mean, he absolutely destroyed a SEC defense this last year at Kentucky. And he's 25, so I mean, he's mature. Played at Tech, and then at Louisville. But I don't know. So you're saying mock draft has Shedeur and the Browns trading up to it at 20?
Mm-hmm. Jumping right ahead of Pittsburgh, and then it had
I don't. And then Pittsburgh having Jackson Dart. I don't like that at all.
No,
but you know what? It's Saints taking Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
So Jackson Dart goes before Bubble Screen Sanders.
No, it had them trading up to 21.
Oh, gotcha.
That was Bleacher Reports.
Oh, that's Bleacher Report. They Ian Rappaport just put out about an hour ago that he said based off all the true knowledge that he has that he's not allowed to say, every year he puts out a private mock draft that he only sends to, like, I think he sends it to who did he say that he sent it to? Not Todd McShay. But anyway, the point is he sends it to like 4 other people to like see if they can get it right in between them based off of the true knowledge, if that makes sense. And he said, don't be surprised if the Jacksonville Jaguars at 5 get really nasty and trade up to number 2. Now, he didn't say, he's like, oh, don't quote me on this, all this other stuff, but he's like, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but it's a possibility. And that was an hour ago. He just tweeted it out and just was like, you know what? It was on the Rich Eisen podcast. And he's like, hey, well, don't be surprised if you see something huge happen with Jacksonville because they're tired of mediocrity and their front office is just going to make a big leap. If they do, going from 2 to 5, I think they obviously would want to get Travis Hunter. But if you're the Browns, you might look at that and say, I might take that, right? Like, wouldn't you going down to 5?
It depends on the haul. Like, you got to have at least, minimum 5 next year's first and the second round this year. Like, minimum. Like, I know it's not like a huge jump, but in this draft, there's only like 3 blue chip players. Like, you can guarantee 2 of them are going to be like Hall of Fame, well, not Hall of Fame-esque, but superstar-esque in Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter. Those 2 are the only ones you can about guarantee. Once you fall out of that top 3, it just kind of, the talent doesn't, it's not horrible, but it dips.
It's mediocre.
And then you got like, at 5, you've probably got, so if we make the trade, so your top 4 is going to be Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul, and then Patriots could be a wild card on where they go. They could either go Mason Graham or Will Campbell. I think they'll go Campbell just because they need tackles. But then you're sitting at 5. What do you go after? Do you go after defense? Do you go after offense? Like, the offensive playmakers kind of dip down a little bit.
Yeah,
and
that's true because
at 5.
That's true, and that's the question I wanted to throw to you there, Cullen, because that's a good question. At 5, that's why 5. When you're talking about those blue chip prospects, at 5, you have maybe Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter. If you want to throw Mason Graham in there, you can. But this is a question for you, Cullen. If you're there at 5, I'm looking at the point system, right? Because a lot of people are using that this year. Previous year's been something called guardrails, but now they're just talking about point system. You'd have to move up 1,000 points, which for everybody listening, 1,000 points is basically like 2 second-round picks. So if the Jacksonville Jaguars gave us 36 and next year's second, they can move from 5 to second, from number 5 overall to number 2 overall. So my question to you is, at number 5, if you're there, who would you even want at 5? Because all your blue chip prospects are gone. Would you get a tackle or Genty, or what would you do at 5?
To be honest, that's honestly a tough question because, like you guys said, like your top talent's going to be gone basically in 3 picks. Like your best picks in this draft are gone pretty quick. I was looking at the point system. You like you said, you might go like Graham. If Graham's still there, go. There's really the talent drops off pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
If Genty's there, he had a absolutely insane college career. Maybe that's something that, depending on who you go to for quarterback this year, that gives him. If Genty has a breakout rookie season at the Browns, that gives the quarterback some play action room to maybe create some plays downfield. And I think I would go Genty, to be honest, if he's still there at 5.
Hear me out, Manny. Hear me out. You go Genty at 5. You get Milroe. You sign back Chubb. You run the wishbone, and then you run Wildcat. We would have like 5,000 rushing yards.
Just only be people with rushing yards.
Yeah, you throw out like 8 offensive linemen. You just have Milroe, Genty, and Chubb.
Navy's offense.
Yes,
basically Navy midshipmen. You're just going to run the Navy midshipmen. Run
that Paul Brown offense.
The Paul Brown offense. So would you? Oh man, I just don't. I'll put it this way. I don't know if it's because I like the picks later on in the round, just because originally before the season ended, I thought the Browns were going to be picking 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, those are the people you were really looking at.
Those are the people I was really looking at. And then I was looking at later on in the draft and later what maybe we can move back and get some people. So I was really familiarizing myself and falling in love with those picks. But when we found out we just got New England Patriots won, and then we just happened to have, there you are, you're at number 2. Now you kind of talk yourself into the sweepstakes of Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter, and you have your choice, especially if Cam Ward's taken number 1 overall. You have your choice of whoever you want in the entire draft. And this is just the situation which, just a side PSA announcement, has been crazy for Browns Twitter, Browns Internet, Browns fans everywhere, because this is our first time being this high in a very long time, since 2018, 2019. So, or 2017, whenever we got Baker Mayfield. So I think it's exciting. So the point I'm trying to make is, if we did go with 5 overall, I am excited with the haul of picks that we could potentially get, maybe this year's 36 overall from the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then you can get Quinshawn or Travion Henderson.
What would you think about possibly Trevor Lawrence being involved in that trade? You still get 5.
Still get 5. What do you?
It's just 5 and Trevor Lawrence.
I will. I'm gonna let Cullen go first. Because I don't hate Trevor Lawrence, but I'll let Cullen go first. That's a difficult question. I'll let Cullen go first.
I don't love Trevor Lawrence. I think he's good, but I think if you go to 5, I think you need, in my opinion, I would prefer picks over Trevor Lawrence. And I say that because Trevor Lawrence has had a couple injuries. Dude's been getting beat to death in Jacksonville for the last couple of years. I don't know that Trevor Lawrence is a quarterback that I see really going to Cleveland and being super successful, leaving Jacksonville and not really being very successful down there either.
Yeah, but he's got the hair, he's got the locks.
He's got the hair.
Yeah.
He's got the – well, again, you're right. You're playing indoors in Indianapolis. You also go to the Texans, which is indoors, and Tennessee is not – it's not New England weather, Yeah. So you have that division. The division's a little bit easier. Not a little bit easier. It's a lot easier, to be honest with you. And he hasn't really done much with that outside of a couple of playoff berths. Trevor Lawrence is difficult to gauge because has Trevor Lawrence, up until last season, had a bona fide top 10 wide receiver? Maybe top 15. We haven't. Calvin. That's what I was gonna say. That's why I said top 15. You can give Calvin Ridley, but it's and he came off that gambling season, so it's I don't know. I just feel like Brian Thomas Jr. is great. That's a great shout out. There you go. Calvin, obviously, Brian Thomas Jr. is great. So I don't know how to gauge Trevor Lawrence. I put him in that pool with Justin Herbert a little bit, where it's you could possibly be good, but it just might be the people around you.
Something I just thought about, and I don't know whether it would work out for him or not. It's a little different scenario, but you look at Stafford and Goff. 2 terrible teams where they're at. And then you literally just swap them. And so there's a world where maybe Trevor Lawrence comes to Cleveland, finds a new identity with a team that's more looking to prove something. I just don't. Jacksonville's never really been a team to me in a long time that's really had that the Bengals, or not the Bengals. The Browns are always right there, fighting to get in, and Jacksonville just isn't. I don't think. Jacksonville just. So maybe Trevor Lawrence to Cleveland would be something that works out a lot better.
Well, since Lawrence has been there, he's had 2 just weird coaching stints. Right off the rip, Urban Meyer, that lasted 2 weeks, and then you have Doug Peterson, who's coming in off the Eagles high, and he's losing staff every year, and just can't keep it. Can't get a good offensive coordinator. They had that 1 year where they went to the playoffs and they came back against the Chargers.
Yeah.
I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And everybody thought he's turning the corner, and then that next year just came out and laid an egg.
No, it's so hard to get. That's why that's why I was scared when the Steelers were talking about getting Trevor Lawrence. I'm more scared of this is just a side thing. I'm more scared of the Steelers getting Trevor Lawrence than I am of them getting Shedeur Sanders. But that's a different scenario. But I will say, if they did package that, to answer your question, KFC, I think if they did package that to 5, it would be something that I would have to consider. Now, I could actually see them doing something like that if they just wanted to blow the whole thing up and then just start over again. But I don't know. They just had that stadium name for them for a couple of games, or that one game they had. So I don't know I think they're pretty dug in on him. But my question to you, Colin, was I asked this to KFC. What draft pick at number 2 would make you the most upset for the Cleveland Browns? Like, if this name swiped across your board, and what would name would make you not like, oh, what was that? But I mean, like, make you mad. What would it be?
KFC told me to say Abdul Carter earlier.
Oh my gosh!
The video of the guy like crushing his TV when it like getting
yes.
Shedeur Sanders at 2, and I break this laptop in half. Like,
what is it? What is it about Shedeur that you don't like? Because I'm also on the camp of that. I don't like Shedeur Sanders. I thought I was really the only one that's been this adamant about it. But what is it about for you?
Well, for one, like, he's just so arrogant. Like, I mean, it is miserable to listen to him talk. But the other side of it is like, I mean, they're retiring his jersey, and I mean, they had 2 terrible seasons. Like, and then, like, I mean, if it wasn't for Travis Hunter, they lose more games than what they lost, like, already. Like, I mean, he wins, if I'm not mistaken, it was like Colorado State. He has the fumble in the end zone that he creates. Like, Shedeur is just riding his dad's unbelievable career coattails, and then the ride with Travis Hunter. Like, I think whenever Shedeur and Travis separate, Shedeur is absolutely going to get exposed. Like, I don't see him being around for like a second NFL contract personally. That's a super hot take, I feel like, but I just don't see him being around in 5-6 years.
Yeah,
I think I that's a really hot take, and the reason why I think that he will potentially get a second one is that his career, wherever he goes, might be muddied enough where it's like he might be just good enough to be like the Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield isms, where they're like, I can fix them. You know what I mean? And then you just get bounced around from Carson Wentz with the Colts. And the Eagles.
But, I mean, go ahead, KFC.
Oh, I was going to introduce another guest we have sitting in the queue right now. We have KoryKinnan hopping on with us. Oh, wait, I got to change there we go.
What happened? How's it going, guys?
What's good, Corey?
All right,
What's good?
I'm shotgunning Red Bull.
Just hanging around.
Shotgun a Red Bull? Is this your third or second one? Your liver's going to be screaming.
Probably 4 or 5.
You know what he does.
That's insane. That is insane.
Ooh.
That is insane.
I'm about to throw up. Not really, but
let's go. So also, first and foremost, welcome, Corey.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Listen, I'm excited for all of our guests. I'm particularly excited for you, Corey, because the rhetoric on Twitter, it's been very anti-Abdul Carter, and I just want you to know, like I said before, I got the jersey. On.
Oh boy,
I got the sticks. It's Stick City, and I think you might be surprised, Corey, at number 2, or it might even be a trade down. I think you're going to be real surprised.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I'm not anti-Abdul Carter. I think Abdul Carter is one of 2 blue chip players in this entire draft. Well, 3, but one's a running back.
Yes.
So one of 3 blue chip players, one of 2 that's realistic for the Browns. I'm not anti-Abdul Carter, but we're talking about Travis Hunter, man. We're talking about Travis Hunter.
Corey, Travis Hunter. What if Travis Hunter's David Bell on offense and Greedy Williams on defense? What do we do then, Corey?
Jeez,
what do we do?
Man. Well, for one, Travis Hunter doesn't run a 4.6 like David Bell.
Okay, please.
We're talking. Come on, man. We're talking about an extremely rare athlete who, if he did run, would have ran like a 4.39, 4.38. Whose movement skills are unbelievable, who didn't even go to any wide receiver room meetings, would had to be told what route to run in the huddle, and then he'd go out and burn his guy and then do what he had to do because he wasn't practicing as a wide receiver. He wasn't in wide receiver room meetings. The Browns have said they view him as a wide receiver first, so he's going to be in wide receiver room meetings, and he's doing all of this natural wide receiver stuff without practicing with the receiver.
That sounds like Anthony Schwartz then.
Okay, you're
oh god.
No, because here's the thing. No, listen. No, here's the thing.
Because has no ball skill, had no balls. Let's talk about Anthony Schwartz for a second. 0 ball skills, 0 ability to find the football in the air, 0 ability to catch the football, and is a 4.3 athlete on a linear plane, but stiff as a brick who couldn't change directions. That's nothing. What we're talking about here.
Okay, So, but the problem is that what is the real, because some people are like, hey, you know what? He could be Terry McLaurin on offense and then Champ Bailey on defense. Well, that's insane. That is a number 1 overall pick. That is insane to me. But
he's the consensus number 1 player in the draft.
Wait, hold on. Well, because it depends, because Abdul Carter's up there too, Corey.
He is, but we're talking about consensus big boards here. Consensus. Arif Hassan with Wide Left puts out a consensus big board every year where he has over 100 big boards that he takes into consideration. He has a formula that he weights everything, so it's just not like, oh, this guy's averaged. Like they're legitimate, like meaningful ways that this is measured, and I don't know what that is, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter are 1 and 2, so like you can't go wrong with either one. But I'm saying we're talking about an entirely rare player here that we haven't seen in a very long time, who is both the best wide receiver and the best corner in the draft. And like these people saying, well, he's not even a top 5 at either position. It's like, then what are you watching? What are you watching to come to that conclusion? Who are you reading that is telling you that information? Because I haven't seen any draft analyst say that, and his film certainly doesn't say that. And then they're like, well, who did he play? It's like, okay, like fine.
I was going to ask you that, Corey. Yeah. Who did he? Because the Kansas Jayhawks doesn't count, Corey, and I know you know that.
Sure. But like that also doesn't discredit the insane catches he has along the boundaries with a defender's hand in his face. Like you could say, well, it's North Dakota State, but watch that touchdown against North Dakota State where he's got a dude draped on him and he's catching the football with a hand in his face, an arm through his hands, like, and he's still catching that football.
Oh, the one on the side of the end zone there. Yeah. Falling back.
Like, I don't remember who the opponent is, but like there's a game where he's running a corner route and he's elevating in the air over 2 defenders and makes his catch, like while dudes are taking his legs out midair. Like your opponent doesn't matter when you're making those sorts of plays. Like, does it matter if Ohio State defender is table-topping you midair or if a Kansas defender is table-topping you midair? You're getting table-topped midair and you're still making the play. Like what's the difference at that point? Like. So, like, you can say level of competition, and sure, to an extent, but, like, what he's doing on tape, he would do to any defender that he's playing. Like, how he's winning, he could win against any defender. Like, that's where it's like, does it matter if it's Denzel Burke's arms through his arms trying to break up a pass or if it's a North Dakota State defender? Like, and that's a conversation because Denzel Burke's also just not very good. But, like, it doesn't, like, that's where level of competition doesn't matter to me. Like, he's making an insane play, and it doesn't matter what helmet the guy's wearing.
Would it matter to you that if I told Travis Hunter that he has to go out there and guard T. Higgins, then on the next drive he has to go up against Dax Hill and do that in the AFC North in the cold, Corey? You know it's cold in Cleveland. And he's 6 foot 180. And so, does that not concern you?
No, because like what they'll be doing is they'll be telling him to go guard T. Higgins or Jamar Chase on a second and long or third and obvious pass. Like he's not going to be playing 1st and 10s, 2nd and 1s, 3rd and 1s. He's going to be playing 2nd and 10s, 3rd and 7+. Like those are the situations he's going to be on the field. I think the Browns are smart enough to know, and I think Travis Hunter, who is one, also this is worth mentioning, extremely brilliant, one of the highest character players in the class. Also,
Yes.
We need
I have no problem with that. You need those.
Hunter knows he's not going to be an 100% full-time player both ways. He's going to be a full-time receiver because I think the Browns want to say, if we have this guy on our team, why wouldn't we try to get the football in his hands as much as possible? Smart. Yeah. And then to know, like, yes, you can go on the field in nickel and dime in obvious passing situations. Like, he knows he's not playing 1st and 10s. He knows he's not playing 2nd and shorts, 3rd and shorts. The guy knows that he's going to be out there when the Browns know and he knows the other team is going to be throwing the football. Like, why are we not cool with this?
I think because it's one, I haven't seen it done at a high level in the NFL. I haven't seen it done consistently enough for someone, a prospect, to tell me I won't even play football if I'm not playing both sides of the ball, which I know you're not going to be playing it full time. I don't think anyone thinks that they're going to be playing full time. And I like Travis Hunter. I think he's my 1B, but I have Abdul Carter a little bit higher than that.
So to your point, so we've not saw an opposite side edge rusher. We saw them be good. You know, we saw Jadeveon Clowney, Zadarius Smith be good, not like insanely elite. What makes you think that Abdul Carter could be that? Because we've not saw it.
Listen, the difference is I haven't seen Travis Hunter. Here's the thing. I haven't seen a player. Like I've seen a good edge rusher come out of college. I haven't seen a fantastic two-way player who've done it full-time, Heisman winner, come into the NFL and then say, no, I'm not a punt returner. I'm not Desmond Howard. I'm literally going to be playing both sides of the ball and do it effectively enough for you to take me number 2 overall. And in the meanwhile, I'll go fish. I haven't seen that before, personally. Abdul Carter, I've seen somebody be able to play linebacker, then switches over to edge, and is now an all-consensus All-American. How do you go from linebacker, and everyone's like, oh, he's only played edge 1 season? Because I just got here, and I'm a consensus All-American. Can you get even 2 seasons? That's all I'm trying to say.
You bought the jersey? Is that why you're so dead set on it?
Listen, I spent money on this jersey, and I waited 4 weeks from it to get overseas. So you better believe I'm going to be caping for Abdul Carter. I waited a really long time, and so I've been fighting left and right Corey's tweets that I've got people quoting me and tagging me in and saying, "Hey, Manny, look at what Corey said." I don't care what Corey said. What you need to do is you don't be a fool. You draft Abdul. Let somebody else take a flyer out on Travis Hunter and think that Travis Hunter is going to be Terry McLaurin and Champ Bailey. And if he is, you got me. Abdul Carter's still going to be a rookie of the year.
What if Abdul Carter is like Barkevius Mingo? I'm not saying he is. I think Abdul's going to be a good player.
See, now you're trying to work me into a shoot because I did it with Corey. He's not going to be, and he's not going to be. He's not going to be. His floor is Von Miller. That's his floor for me. So if you draft that number 2 overall because it's the certainty. What I will say is this. What I will ask is this. I've been meaning because I had a list of questions to ask Corey, so I was throwing on. Corey, question.
Oh boy.
If we have Travis Hunter number 2 overall and we do your bidding, right? 33-67. What are we doing at 33? And what are we doing? Are we doing running back, offensive tackle? Are we doing a quarterback? What would you like in those situations? I'm not saying what the Browns are going to do. I just want to know what do you think? What would suit your fancy?
Yeah, so one, I think we're going to see a really early run on offensive tackles, like probably 4 in the top 15. Which to me says that the value is probably not going to be there at 33 to just grab an offensive tackle. You'll probably hate me for this as well, but I would probably take Jalen Milroe. I wouldn't trade up. Here's the thing. I don't think these quarterbacks are worth donating future assets to come up and get. The 5th-year option is not that valuable. Like, I think all of their value is relatively similar. But when I think about like a quarterback, and they're going to take a quarterback at some point, like there has to be something there to develop tools wise. And in my opinion, Jalen Milroe is the only one that has like developmental tools. Like Jackson Dart has a mid to plus mid arm, and he's a mid to plus mid athlete who played in the mickiest of Mouse's offenses and didn't particularly process it well. So like, what is there to develop there? Like with Milroe, we're talking like this is a 4.4 athlete who has a nuke for an arm, who also played in an offense where like you can see his eyes working. The accuracy is an issue. The footwork is an issue. But like that's where I say like, well, this is if we're talking about developmental traits, and if you're taking a quarterback day 2, you're taking a developmental guy, not a guy that you're committing any sort of future to, then like, yes, then that's the guy I'm taking.
And so, because I was talking to Cullen about this before you hopped in, and Cullen and I are seeing eye to eye, which I greatly appreciate about these. It's the disciples of Shedeur, Corey. It's these people who love Shedeur Sanders, like KFC. So the waters are muddy, Corey. I'm not sure with your tweets. Do you like Shedeur or not? I can't tell.
I do. So if Shedeur's at 33, I would take Shedeur. I don't know if he's going to be there at 33, but I think Shedeur's wicked smart, the most accurate quarterback in the class, and gives you an extremely high floor. And that word is scary because that, like, yeah, then what's your floor? That top 15 quarterback, but like, so like that's where I get a little iffy with the Sanders stock. But like in this class, I would take Shedeur. But there's no doubting that Milroe has the highest ceiling of any guy that we're talking about here.
If it was Shedeur and Milroe there at the same time, who would you take?
See,
gotta take Milroe, Corey.
I would still take Shedeur.
No,
let's
go. This is where we disagree.
Please put him in the coffin, close the door, throw away the key, bury him 20 feet under, please.
Shedeur gets
explain.
Like, he just gets it from a cognitive level. I understand the arm is also just average plus, and he's just an average athlete. But like, you can make that work if you play the game fast, and if you understand information fast, and you get the ball out fast, which he didn't do at Colorado. I think Shedeur is a case where like more than any other quarterback I've ever evaluated, there are so many external situations to his circumstance that make it so hard. His offensive line is by far the worst Power 4 offensive line.
They're awful.
That offense is so static. They're always in super, super wide split trips, and there's never any pre-snap motion. And so, like, he's working with nothing pre-snap to give him any sort of indicators. So it makes it really hard to digest, like, well, what kind of quarterback can he be versus what he is? And what he is not a finished product, but what he is from a cognitive level and from an accuracy level says, like, yeah, I can work with this guy.
Yeah, and you know, I'll let KFC ask a question so I don't bombard you too much. But what I don't like is when people say Shedeur is so accurate. Did you see he's the most accurate quarterback in NCAA history in the college and in the season and the career? Show me who's on Graham Harrell. No offense to Graham Harrell, Texas Tech. Colt McCoy, Texas legend. Colt Brennan, RIP from Hawaii, the Warriors. I don't want to say anything crazy, but when 21.7% of your passes are in the flat 6 yards away from you, I expect you to have a high accuracy, Corey. I expect that. So why isn't anybody talking about it? But then they say to me, because he didn't have a run game. Well, then why if you didn't have an offensive line or you didn't have a run game, why are you holding on to the ball so long? Get the ball off. Do you see what I'm struggling with the accuracy argument, Corey?
Yeah, I do, and I would counter that by saying the metric my metric, weighted on target percentage, when I chart quarterbacks, I weight different levels of the field. And it's also worth noting that over the last 8 games, Shedeur Sanders had the same amount of deep balls as Cam Ward did. So, like, while he does have the largest amount of throws at or around, and he has the largest amount of throws at or behind the line of scrimmage, he also has a very high volume of deep balls. So it's just not all dink and dunk. He will push the field, and he's accurate, and he does that as well. Again, by my charting metric, he's over the last 3 years the most accurate quarterback or the second most accurate quarterback to only Jaden Daniels that I've charted over the last 3 years.
Can we listen? Clip that part out where he just told me that, where he just brought those facts. Clip that part out. Post. Yeah, I don't need.
Hey, buddy, this is live. You can't edit live.
Listen, delete all that. Delete that.
Put the
cement
right over it.
Corey. Good. You go.
So running back wise, where do you see the Browns going? Like, is it at 67? Is it 94? Because you've kind of said you're 2 and you're 33. Do you see them trading up in the second round to get a guy, or do you think somebody might fall at 67, or do you think they're just going to stay put at 67?
So I think the spot they're most likely to trade back from would be 33, especially if teams don't trade up for quarterbacks early on. I think the Saints at 41, even the Giants 1 or 2 spots later, like some sort of swap like that, I think they'd be more than happy to do something like that and add another pick later down the road. Running back is difficult. I think 67 or 94 is probably a sweet spot. I'd even say 104. Ultimately, I do think they bring Nick Chubb back for cheap, and what's left in the tank there might not be a lot. I'm really worried about that, honestly, that my goat might be washed. And I still think that they have some semblance of belief in Jerome Ford because he is ultra explosive. The eyes are an issue, but so is the run blocking scheme over the past 2 years. It's been garbage as well. So with Bloomgren being a Callahan disciple, do they believe that the offensive line is going to take a progression back to the mean and specifically run blocking? And is there something more to work with Jerome Ford than we've seen over 2 years? I think they're definitely keeping him in the building. That lends me to like 94, 104. One of those two picks is kind of where I think running backs probably, but it could happen 67. We'll see what happens, how it plays out. I do like Caleb Johnson out of Iowa. I like DJ Giddens out of Kansas State. Like those are the two guys that I would say most in this offense. I would love. But DJ Giddens, you could probably get at 104, man. Caleb Johnson probably 67.
What do you think about Dylan? This pains me to say. I'm a Kentucky fan. Pains me to say, but what do you think about Dylan Sampson?
I'm iffy. I don't really like his eyes. Again, he's a track star from Texas in high school too, but like he doesn't have that kind of track speed explosiveness on tape. And that's where I kind of struggle too. Plus he's playing in an offense where Tennessee literally spreads 4 wide every single time. And like he's running it up against 5-6 man boxes. And I just don't love his process running into light boxes every time because he's not going to see light boxes at the NFL level. So like if I already don't trust your eyes against 5-6 man boxes, then like when you're consistently seeing 6-7 man boxes at the NFL, like, so that's why I'm a little bit iffy with Dylan Sampson.
And then this question's for all three of you. And then I want KFC to go first, and then Cullen, and then Corey. What do you expect out of a 17-game season with Joe Flacco? Because I know when we brought him back, obviously a lot of people are high, a lot of people are excited. I think it was because it came with an exciting stretch of the season. He won a lot of football games, and obviously we remember the playoff game and the interceptions thrown for. Interceptions returned for a touchdown. But for 17 games, what would you kind of expect out of him? KFC, Cullen, and then Corey.
17-game season. I don't know. I think Joe Flacco will throw you out of a few games, and I think he'll win you a few games because from everything I've known about Joe Flacco, he'll either throw the best deep ball you've ever seen in triple coverage, and it's just perfect, or he's going to throw one of the worst interceptions you've ever saw. Honestly, I see him and Jameis Winston. I think Jameis Winston's a little dumber than Joe Flacco,
James.
But I do too. But I think they're kind of similar in that aspect. They're going to throw one of the prettiest deep balls, or it's going to be one of the worst throws you've ever seen, and because they think they can make every throw. So I don't know if he'll make the full 17-game season. I mean, he is 40 years old. I would say you'll see a little bit of Kenny Pickett in there somewhere, but I'm iffy on it. I don't know.
So
Colin, what do you think?
Live and die by Joe's arm is what you're saying.
Pretty much.
I said it earlier before Corey hopped on. I think that the Browns quarterback success is going to be heavily dependent on their run game. That's just I pray to God, Nick Chubb, this is like the last great season because like it needs to be a big one in my opinion. I hope he plays more than that, but I think you bring in a decent run game. Chubb gives you a couple of good runs a game and gives Flacco some time to throw and create something that to me. That's where the the Browns are going to find success this year, I think, in throwing the football is if you can establish a run game.
I like that answer. Corey, what do you think?
Yeah. So I think we're making a pretty big assumption that the Browns are going to give the 40-year-old the benefit of the doubt over the 26-year-old. I think they're going to give Kenny Pickett every chance to win the job. Like, I really do. Which I think a Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, rookie QB, day 2 QB quarterback room is honestly the team telling us kind of what their expectations for the season are to begin with. But again, Joe Flacco has not been signed to be a starting quarterback since 2018. Is that the year he went to Denver?
Mm-hmm.
No, Lamar was 2019. 2019 is Lamar was drafted in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
26 years ago was the last time Joe Flacco was actually signed to be a starting quarterback. And again, I think the base plus incentives will tell you, like, yeah, the Browns envision that he could probably start, and he at some point they probably expect him to if he can earn up to $13 million. But I do think they're honest when they're saying we're going to give Kenny Pickett every chance to start and win this job. I think it's going to be a legitimate quarterback competition, and Joe Flacco could win it, but I don't think Joe Flacco signed it being handed the starting job coming in here to begin with. Either way, assuming defense progresses back to the mean here, I think that's where we're going to see a lot. And I think MJ Emerson has the chance to really turn it around again. I think Denzel Ward is going to be Denzel Ward. So I do think there's the ability to progress a little bit back to what we saw. 2023, the top defense in the NFL, maybe not that high, but definitely back to some sort of like meaningful defense. I keep coming back to the offensive line. If that offensive line can progress a little bit with another Callahan disciple back in the building, they won games with PJ Walker and they won games with DTR and Joe Flacco. Like, they could win 7 or 8 games with Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco. Like, I don't think they're going to be world beaters. I doubt they're even going to be pushing for a wild card spot, but like, you could float around a little bit with these guys.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree. And that's what makes it fun, right? I mean, I think Browns fans want to be able to go into every game thinking that, hey, there's a chance we can win. Unlike the last, no offense, I love DTR. I loved him in college and everything. I was stoked when he was a Brown, but at the same time, I understand. But the last 3 weeks of the season, I don't know if any of us were excited particularly to watch those football games. I think we all knew that they were going to lose, which is the worst feeling on planet Earth, knowing you're just rolling out any roster out there. So I think that can be, extremely upsetting. But Corey, last question for you before we let you go here. What name at number 2 outside of Abdul Carter and anything else really crazy, but like what name would make you really upset? Not like wonder why they did that, or I could see what would make you actually upset.
Punch your TV.
Yeah, like what would make Corey crash out?
Yeah.
So like really anything outside of Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter would make me feel that way, because it's like, then why not trade the pick and get Mason Graham at 5? Like, why not trade the pick and get Armand Membu at 5? Like, why would we just sit here and take this guy? So that's why I come back to, like, they're not trading the pick and they're taking Travis Hunter, because like Jacksonville has been calling them. Jacksonville wants the pick. Like, the Browns are asking for a king's ransom for it, and they should. And I ultimately don't think they're going to trade it. But like, if you have anybody on your mind other than these two guys, then like, what are we doing here? Like, then take Jacksonville's offer, go back to 5 and take Mason Graham or Armand Membu. Like, just like, what are we doing? So I think I'd be upset if it were anybody other than Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter.
Could you think like the reason they're not taking it is because you want to squeeze all of the toothpaste out of the tube kind of thing? Like, you want to wait up until the pick is actually it's 8:10 p.m. and then Jacksonville is like, fine, here's 36, next year's first and a 4th this year to move up. It like because if you accept that trade offer now, you can get more when you're right at 8:10 p.m. You know what I mean? Like, do you think that could potentially be the case?
I mean, Andrew Berry said they're going to use the whole shot clock.
Right.
Ultimately, I think they're in love with Travis Hunter. Like, I think that's what it really comes down to. I think they're in love with Travis Hunter, And so I just don't see them moving off the pick. But again, I think they're also prefacing that to Jacksonville, like, then you got to wow us. Like, if you also love him, then you have to wow us. And, you know, we saw 2018 when the Jets traded up from 6 to 3 for Darnold with the Colts. It was 3 second-round picks, and I think we're talking about much more than that.
Wow.
I think we're probably talking about a first and a second, a first and 2 day 2 picks, something like that, to come up and get Travis Hunter. Ultimately, I just think that's how valuable of a player Hunter is, and how much Jacksonville loves him and Cleveland loves him, and Cleveland knows Jacksonville loves him. So, like, if you want to take him from us, then, like, you're going to have to take him from us, like, pry him from our cold dead hands. So I think that's kind of where they're at with it. But I do have to head off, guys. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Corey.
It's been a blast. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Corey.
Thank you for hopping on, brother. We appreciate it.
Take it easy, guys. Have a good one.
See you. Bye. All right. Yeah, tip of the cap off to Corey. And speaking of tip of the cap, Colin, drop it on the hats, buddy.
Appreciate you, man. I was hoping I'd have it in my hands today. Actually, I wasn't going to tell you. I was going to ship them to you if they were ready. That way you had them today. Yeah, there was going to be 3 of them at your door. Yeah, and we do not have them yet, which is maybe quite possibly the most State Line Co. thing ever. We planning to release several Cleveland hats, 1 Guardian color, and then 2 corduroy, dropping a brown and white rope corduroy and a white and brown corduroy with matching upside down Cleveland on them. And then we are doing like it's called natural, but it's like a mixture of like an off-white, like khaki color, brown bill, upside down Cleveland. Planning to drop all those this year. And hoping to actually come tailgate for at least 1, if not maybe 2 Browns games this year. Since my brother lives up there, it should be an easy sell to the wife, and a bunch of my buddies are Browns fans and live up that way. So,
heck yeah, big stuff
maybe,
coming.
Maybe get you up there, Christian.
Hey, I'm always down for a trip to Cleveland. Always down.
But man, I appreciate you guys having me on. Like I said, hopefully, whenever football season gets here, we've got Browns hats ready to go.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I can't wait.
Once they get ready, dude, State Line has the best hats, no doubt.
We just got to crack into that Cleveland market. So I love that city way too much not to. I tell people all the time, it's like Iceland. People talk down on Cleveland so other people don't visit. It's a great city. So
that's a fact.
I love it.
Cleveland's a gym.
It's lit.
Well, I appreciate y'all having me on.
Thanks so much, Colin.
Thank you, Christian. Awesome meeting you, Manny. And go Browns.
Go Browns.
Appreciate
Go Browns.
you, brother. Go Browns.
Yep. See you guys.
See you.
I got cooked, bro. I got cooked.
You did. You got cooked.
First and foremost, the State Line hats, those things are going to be sick. They are going to be sick. So if you're viewing, if you're watching,
let me pull up the mock up on them.
Yeah,
they're actually really
sick.
tough. They're
they are so sick. They're so sick. Wearing that in the Muni is going to be lit.
And then they got this one. That one's just kind of a draw, but that's just like a mock up of them. They'll look tough.
That's going to be 100% sick.
Yeah.
But
I know we got BK coming up here soon. Should be joining up here any moment.
Absolutely.
Grant did inform me that he had something pop up. So we'll probably cut this episode an hour short, probably dip out of here at 4. So we'll just get BK, and then at 3:30 we have Jacob Roach hopping on with us. So we got two big guests.
Two big guests. I think, I was thinking about it, and I will say, Shedeur Sanders just tweeted out right now, live, I'm built for, quote, I'm built for whatever today may bring, unquote. So we'll see how that works. I'm excited. I'm excited for I'm excited for it. I think Corey almost convinced me a little bit about being okay with the Travis Hunter pick. We'll see how that actually works out. I mean, again, let me not say that. I am okay with Travis Hunter. I am totally okay with Travis Hunter. I just would prefer Abdul Carter, and I that's just how my stance is. And if it's Travis Hunter, that's the pick. 100%. Will I get a jersey eventually? Like, I think that I see the potential. I see the vision. I'm curious about what that does to the other picks.
Mhm.
Thanks, Mitch. I'm curious what that does with the other picks at 33, 67. Are we going to go quarterback? Is it Jalen Milroe? Is it going to be Jackson Dart? Are we going to trade up for Jackson Dart? You know, I'm curious that way. But I will say I have a gut feeling that the Browns will trade back up into the first round. I think that those back half teams won't mind getting 33 because 33 is practically a first round pick. It's the first pick in the second round. So I wouldn't be surprised. I just, you know, I agree with the point that Corey was making. If there's anything outside of Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, that somebody has the right to crash out because you could have gotten that person later on in the draft.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to see where it goes. Dream case scenario. I'm really bought in with Jalen Milroe as a project, and if it doesn't pan out, you're not too deep into with a draft pick. You're not giving up a first on him, and well, I mean they could trade up, but I don't think they'd have to give up too much to jump from like 33 to mid 20s, just because it's not that big of a jump. So, but yeah, so I'm excited to see where it goes. But I think we got to go Travis Hunter. Like, got to go Travis Hunter.
Yeah, I wouldn't be upset about it. And I think that people would. I think it's so funny how we are as fans, because if we got Travis Hunter, we would be more okay with that now than we would have a month ago. Did we sip the Kool-Aid of Shedeur Sanders not being good enough to be drafted at 2? Because there were so many people 2 months ago that said, Journey, Don't Stop Believing is not going to be there for a skilled position player. Plain and simple. And now, everywhere you scroll on Brown's Twitter and social media, it's Travis Hunter.
Well, at the time, the consensus number 1 pick was Travis Hunter. And it was more fair. It was more or less like you're either getting Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. Which one do you like more? It's like the Titans are between Cam Ward and Travis Hunter, so you're trying to like bank on which one do you think that Titans are going to go with? Who's going to be there? Titans really need a quarterback, so it's probably going to be Cam Ward. Could they pass up on him? Maybe Travis Hunter falls to 4. You know, I mean, there's just a bunch of stuff happening, but that was also before pro days and the combine, just kind of seeing where everybody's at. And then you get to learn a little bit more on the inside, because you really don't learn much on the fan aspect of it. You don't learn as much from before the combine, because that's really when you start the fan aspect. You get to see the numbers, you get to see everything kind of in more daylight in that aspect. But other than that, I mean, they're here and there. But I'm just messaging, waiting for BK to get in here. So I again, because I would love to have I can't wait till BK comes in, because he is a big Travis Hunter guy, and I'm a big Abdul Carter guy as well. And I don't want everybody to be scoffing at I should have asked Corey about Kirk Cousins, because I think that's a possibility. I truly do. To me, how it shakes out determines if we get Kirk Cousins or not. But it's a pipeline dream. Now the percentage is way down there at 2 or 1%. Let it go. Just take that dream, put it in the trash can. I know you want it. I know you want Kirk Co in Cleveland. And about a year ago, I would have probably been on that train with you. But that ship has sailed, man. That ship's out there close to Italy.
Do you think that it depends on, like, obviously Joe Flacco is not going to be back after next season. So Kenny Pickett, I don't know, but if that's the case, if you don't get a quarterback, like, I agree then with you. You have to draft 2 quarterbacks, and it has to be Jalen Milroe / Jackson Dart, and then lower get your Kyle McCord. Who did we see there? Quinn Ewers and Dylan Gabriel. You'd have to get that as an option with, like, I would go Jalen Milroe and then go Quinn Ewers. But would you take a flyer out on a guy like on a UDFA like DJ Uiagalelei?
No, God, no, dude. He's awful. He's awful, man.
But I didn't watch enough of this film to know why he's awful.
He's not good. He's one of them people that got hopped up because, okay, how I look at the prospect of DJ Uiagalelei is he played significantly less talent, so his high school projections were a lot better.
Yep.
And he is a mediocre quarterback who got to have like these crazy stats. And it's just like anything, like a quarterback like at Western Kentucky, kind of like a Bailey Zappi. He has the college record for yards and touchdowns. Okay, you put him at Alabama. Is he still going to get that same, like those same yards?
That's true. That's kind of how I look at it, but at a lower level and significantly less talent. I'm trying to look at what we would do if the Jaguars did trade up to 2. Like, and this is just another thing that's running through my head. Like, we could get a lot of picks though. Like you heard what Corey said about the Jets and the Colts for Sam Darnold for 3 seconds.
I'm tired of trading picks, like early picks.
Yeah,
and I'm over it because about every time we've traded a pick or traded back, it's just not been in our favor. I think one of the only few times trading back has benefited us. In reality, it really didn't. Kind of did, but when we traded back in 2017, we traded back, got David Njoku. Or no, we traded back, got David Njoku, or was it Jabril? I can't remember which one we picked first. I think we picked Jabril.
I think it was Jabril.
Yeah, so we traded back, got Jabril Peppers, and then we got Denzel Ward with that pick the next year when we traded with the Texans. In reality, I don't know. That's probably one of the only times it's really benefited us. But like trading back in the 2016 draft, trading back from 2 to 16, taking Corey Coleman. I mean, we had the 12th pick, but
yeah,
I mean, it's over with that next year, but that's about it. I mean, you got Corey Coleman trading back from 2 to 16. And that whole draft class was god awful, except like Emmanuel Ogba.
What now? Where did Corey Coleman go after us? What is it?
The Bills, I think.
No, I think it might be Keon Coleman, right?
Corey Coleman? No, he went to the Bills, I think. I'm pretty sure. Let me look it up. Corey Coleman. Let's see. Played with the Chiefs. It might have been the Giants.
Might have been the Giants. Okay.
Because I know we traded him after the Hard Knocks thing. Yeah, so we traded him to the Giants in 2018, and he never had over 420 yards, had 3 touchdowns his rookie year, and 2 of them were against the Ravens. Had 61 receptions on 138 targets and 5 touchdowns in 3 years, 789 yards. So...
If you okay. You know what? Can this is a side point. Can you bring up the PFF mock draft. I want to see
Do you
where
want me to go back all the way?
I want to
Fresh.
I want to see I want to see what we can get at 5 if we traded
Okay.
with Jacksonville, because if Cam Ward goes number 1 overall and Ian Rappaport's report is correct, and then we would trade number 2 to not that he reported it, he said that his
BK.
hunch.
BK's in the house.
Oh, let's go. Yeah, let's make sure we tweet that out.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, fam.
What's up, y'all? My bad. I'm kind of moving and shaking today, so I just, thought I'd stop in a little bit. How's everything going?
Wait, listen, it is insane, BK, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm getting a little nervous because
Why?
I'm losing hope because it looks like it's gonna be Travis Hunter, bro.
So hold on. So Manny, why is that a bad thing? Like you get a player who can affect the game in 2 different ways. Why is that a bad thing?
It's because
I get that. I get, obviously, because I'm riding with you. Don't be a fool for, but I get that. But at the same time, I'm like we got to get back to our mission statement. Manny, our mission statement was anybody but Shador at 2. That was our mission statement. And we sat down, Manny, and we had
no
these
QB at 2. That was true.
Yeah,
that was true.
And we got to get back to that. So again, if it's Travis at 2, we riding. That's what I'm saying.
But you know why I'm getting cold feet?
Why?
Is because so many people want Travis now.
And Manny, but hold on, Manny, here's the thing. If that many people want him, that literally tells you again that you probably shouldn't trade him. Like, if a team's willing to do that much to move up and grab him, that probably tells you he's going to be a dog. Like, let's not be in the situation we were back in, I think it was 08 or 09, somewhere around there, where we had a chance to go get Julio and everybody started calling, and guess what we did? We were the dumb folk in the corner who decided, you know what, Phil Taylor, we would rather have Phil Taylor and whatever else that came with that as compared to just going to get Julio. That's where we were at. And that's why we stuck in the situation we in.
But would be, but as long as it's not, you're right. You know what?
Shador.
It's not, as long as it's not Shador. And so I was trying to talk to KFC about some of the things that I don't like about Shador Sanders. And not only was he would you still consider yourself that you like Shador Sanders? KFC?
Yeah.
Well, I
like him, just not at 2.
Just not at 2.
That's where I've always been. I'm like, as long as it's not at 2, I'm fine, because I just don't know, again, if you're ever going to be in a position where you can get a blue chip prospect like this. And again, I'm more confident that I think he's going to fall probably closer to the 20s. And again, I think there's a chance where you can end up with both of them. And I'm going to tell you this, I'm going to be hella excited if we can get both of them, because again, I know when there are people out there on the timeline and everything else that like to paint you. If you're not a Shador at 2 boy, they try to paint you like you a hater. But the reality is, again,
got a whole lot of ops. Them disciples of Shador will get you.
I'm never going to. Here's the thing: I can always go get another Shador in another draft. I can't go out and get another Travis. I can't go out and get another Abdul. I can't go do that because I'm never going to be this high again. So why not take one of the best players when you have an opportunity to get them?
What pick would make you really upset at number 2? What would make you crash out?
Shador. I probably would cry.
Shador.
I probably go in the corner and cry in the corner.
I would die.
I legit will probably break my TV.
That's what we were saying. What pick?
Yeah.
So okay, let's just say we stay at 2 and then stay at 33. We don't trade up. Quarterback. Let's say Shador went off the board. Dart goes off the board. Obviously, Cam Ward's off the board. So you're sitting there with Milroe, Shook, Dylan Gabriel, Will Howard, and you kind of know it's about guaranteed that the Browns are going to take a quarterback with that second pick. What do you do at 33? Browns draft Tyler Shook out of Louisville.
I'm gonna be honest with you, KFC. I'm gonna give him a shot, because as much as my instincts tells me that he could be Brandon Whedon 2.0, I'm gonna give him a shot because I've given far worse quarterbacks a shot. And at this point, it's like, hey, it can't be any worse than Deshaun Kaiser. So, I'm gonna give it.
Is that our floor, BK? Deshaun Kaiser.
I mean, hey, it can't. It really can't get. Well, nah. Actually, you could have Chris Hogan at quarterback.
But at 33, when you have a chance to draft a Will Howard, a Jalen Milroe, which I'm not the biggest guy on Will Howard, just any other quarterback except those three that's already off the board, and you take Tyler Shook, I'm throwing
that. You know what that tells me? That tells me that they think he's going to play pretty soon because. Again, if you're drafting someone that old,
he's not good though.
You're expecting. No, I mean, hey. So again,
I'm not for it, man. Like, KFC, I'm not trusting. If they draft Tyler Shook, I'm not trusting anything. I think they're all getting fired.
The process, good brother. Got to lock in. Good brother.
No, because everything, the whole quarterback locker, like the room right now. It's Joe Flacco, 40 years old. Can you pick it like 26? You're drafting a rookie who's going to be 26 too, and you're supposed to let this. The way that it's set up, he's going to sit. So you're talking the time you would want Tyler Shook to start playing, he would play his first game at 27. He's already reached his potential. Like there's not much growth in a 26-year-old quarterback compared to a 21 or 22-year-old.
Again,
he's already reached it.
My gut would tell me that if they're drafting him, they think he's pretty pro ready, and if that's the case, I don't have a problem with them taking them in the second round. But I will tell you this, like you just said, I would hope he'd be able to win this QB battle because if he can't, hey, it's gonna be rough. Like let's just put it like this:
they're all getting fired.
You're gonna look foolish if he doesn't win the QB battle.
BK, who do you think Travis comp wise is on wide receiver, and like what is your expectation for him on wide receiver and floor ceiling as a wide receiver and floor ceiling as a corner?
So I think his floor I'd say I'll probably say his floor probably be Brandon Lloyd, from back in the day. You might have to do some research, but he was essentially what a lot of people would consider like you've seen the OBJ catches and everything else like that. He was essentially that dude who he'd make those ridiculous catches, and he was just like that really. I think he was a pretty productive receiver. I got to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure I think he was a pretty productive receiver. And I think his ceiling, I think he can be. I think legit he could be between like a OBJ or a Terry McLaurin
that's
type.
The second time
I think that's very possible.
OBJ, I got an OBJ jersey because I like OBJ.
I was gonna say, Manny, I'm like, hey, if he gets that 12 jersey, you gonna definitely have to cop one,
I'm like,
especially if he goes out there balling. I'm gonna need you. I'm gonna need you to be out and about. Especially if we playing. I think we're gonna be playing in. How far are you from Jersey? Because I think we're going up to Jersey this year to play.
The East Rutherford. I was looking at that game. I'm only about an hour 40 minutes from East Rutherford.
Yeah, so I'm saying, if you get a chance, if he's balling out, I need you to make that trip, and I need to see you like the same way you were with that DTR shirt. I need to see you with that Hunter jersey. I need it.
Listen. What about ceiling corner? Ceiling and floor at corner.
I'll probably say floor. I probably would say somebody said this earlier, and I'm not necessarily sure how I feel about it. Shit. I'd say floor. I'd say Greg Newsome. I think so. I think he'd be a solid starter in the NFL.
Greg Newsome floor?
Yeah, I think that's the floor.
That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, and I think his ceiling is like a Trevon Diggs.
See, now if he's a scary, this is the exact. I didn't think about Trevon Diggs. Mm-hmm. If he's Trevon Diggs on, like Trevon Diggs, because somebody said Scary Terry. I don't know what Twitter space we were in or whatever. Uh-huh. Somebody said it was Scary Domo. Terry and Champ Bailey. I think it was Domo. I gotta DM him and ask him if that was him, but I have to because I haven't even checked it. I've been getting flamed all day, so my DMs are full. But I think it was Champ Bailey and Terry McLaurin. And if that's the case, then yes, take him at 2. I, however, don't feel like that is particularly realistic. I just don't. I feel as though if he's going to be picking that high, if he's going to be chosen that high, any like normal person, I feel like he could be a Jerry Jeudy, and realistically a Jerry Jeudy on offense, which you already have one, which is fine. Two Jerry Judys isn't a problem. Jerry Jeudy on offense, and then you get yourself like you said, a Greg Newsome on defense. I hate to use 2 people who are on the Browns, but like that's not bad. But is that worth 2 overall? That's the question that I'm having. And I don't know if that is. When you're talking about you could potentially get a Micah Parsons. I'll take one Micah Parsons, please. Thank you. I don't know. Because guess what? People are like, oh, well, you're getting 2 players in one. Well, what happens when Travis Hunter is injured? Now you're lost 2 players in one. But no one thinks about that. No one talks about that. So now I'm looked at as the bad guy. It's frustrating.
Yeah, but Travis Hunter's not coming into the year hurt, though. Potentially.
Abdul Carter is not hurt, okay? Abdul Carter is totally fine. What he needs is just some rehab. He'll get into the facility. He knows it. He'll be fine. And I'll guarantee you this.
Hey, Manny. I'm telling you, dog. Like I said, you can still take a victory lap tonight, dog. As long as it's not Shador at 2. Like, hey,
listen, QB at 2. That was the agenda, and we're getting it.
So Manny, I need you to tweet that back out. Literally, like I need you to let people know before because they gonna be on you. I seen how they tried to get on you about that Abdul thing earlier this morning. I said, hey man,
they were starting early. You see them?
Yeah, exactly. They got on you early. I'm saying, hey, they must have forgot. We hit you with the okie doke. It was actually no QB at 2.
It was they forgot about that. I had that as a whole name. Was just no QB at 2. Yeah. But you know what?
Man, you ever see that Bow Wow meme where it's like he just like he had his hand out and it looked like he's about to press up. Like that like no QB at 2 has always been the agenda.
It's always been that. Gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha. What did Ethan say? Can you put that comment back up there? What did Ethan say?
Oh, wrong one.
Abdul is already injured. Actually, the Browns aren't planning on using him as 2 players. Get it on, Ethan. That's the whole point. That's the whole lure. We see him as a wide receiver, but we're going to play him at corner. Carter hasn't done squat. His agent said he would run before the draft, and he doesn't squat. It's not. It's the egregious comments like that, Ethan. It's the egregious comments like that. It's the Barkevious Mingos. It's Abdul Carter's Barkevious Mingo. It's BK. Is that what I've heard before? If you correct me if I'm wrong. It's also
it was
Pastor X.
Mingo.
Shout out to Xavier from OTC. Literally was like, Barkevious. Carter equals Barkevious Mingo. Yes. And Courtney Brown. It's egregious stuff like that. It's
But
egregious.
Here's the crazy thing. Courtney Brown, before he got injured, was actually pretty good. Like, I think people forget that. Like, that's the thing people don't understand.
Short-term memory, BK.
But it's like, literally, if you go look up Courtney Brown before the injury, I'm telling you, dog, they got some YouTube highlights. I'm telling you, go look that up, bro. Like, that man wasn't bad.
I can't comment on that comparison. I was like 1.
I was like, what?
I can't comment like Tim Couch stuff, bro. I just nod my head and go along with it. I like arguing with people about it just to hit our eyes.
But it's not. But it's not anything like legit.
Tim Couch was a Brown before I was born, so stuff like that. But
BK, I got one last question for you. Who would you have for when it comes to 33? And if Travis Hunter's the pick, 33, 67, 94. Who are some players that you're thinking about when it comes to having those picks in the possession of the Cleveland Browns? Say there's no trades. Would you double dip again? So basically 33, 67, and 94.
No trades?
No trades. What are you looking at those 3 picks? Would you double dip at quarterback or what would you do?
So 33, either take Shador if he falls there or Jalen. 67, probably take Caleb Johnson or Quinshawn Judkins. 94.
Do you like Travion Henderson?
Yeah, I can't rock with him, dog. I'll be honest. He reminds me too much of the light skinned Jerome Ford to me. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Yeah, he got the vision of Stevie Wonder. I can't do it. Yeah, I can't do it. So yeah, I can't.
Vision of Stevie Wonder is insane, bro.
Hey, you remember?
Why Stevie Wonder catching strays?
Hey, you remember on Friday where Michael Blackson came in and he said, "I can't get jiggy with this shit. I can't get jiggy with it." Like that's where I'm at with Trayvon. I can't do it. But hey, maybe he might go somewhere and be a dog, and he might get cataract surgery. You never know. But it's but nah, I probably use Harold. And at 104, I probably would go a developmental offensive lineman. Can't go wrong. So essentially the first couple picks are all.
What about what is it? Harold Holland Pierce from Rutgers, 6'8", big
I
body.
Could see that. Or like Ozzie Trapilo or whatever, stuff like that. So I could definitely see it. Essentially, it's like the first 4 rounds are like all offense. So
I like that. I think that again, I don't have a problem with it. I wouldn't, as long as Shedeur Sanders is not. I used to be okay with Shedeur Sanders being picked later. Maybe I am. I don't know. I don't want. I want him where we get some value from him.
If he gets picked, once he's on the team, you'll be behind him. Let's be real. Anybody that gets picked, you're going to be like, yeah, I see it. That's how
I see the vision with Shedeur. Depending where we get him, I will definitely be like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. That's totally fine.
If he falls past Pittsburgh, I think honestly, there's a shot he might make it to the second round. Like there might.
But another thing I heard. This is for you, KFC and BK. But I heard it from that Ian Rappaport video, which I got to send that to you both. I think you both probably saw it already, but I'll send it to you anyway. He said, hypothetically, I'm not going to be surprised. There might be people who I thought would fall to 9 who are actually going to fall to 26. 9 is the Saints, and 26 is the LA Rams. I said this so many times. The LA Rams would be the absolute best place for a player that was supposed to go to 9, that was supposed with the Saints to the LA Rams, and everybody knows who that is, and that's one Shedeur Sanders. I think Shedeur Sanders is going to go to the LA Rams, and I think he's going to do well with Sean McVay and indoors, playing 49ers, Arizona outside, the Rams too, in Seattle. I think he's going to flourish over there in the NFC. They do play better defense in the NFC as a whole, but I think he would succeed. I think that would be the scariest team for Shedeur Sanders to go to in the entire NFL.
Well, we've also got another guest sitting in the queue. We've got Jacob Roach.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
What's up, guys? How we
BK,
doing?
feel free to stay along if you'd like. If you don't want to, that is totally fine. Everyone, make sure you follow
Oh
BK.
no,
Follow
I'm here for the man, the myth, the legend. Jacob. I'm here.
Yes, sir.
So,
Who
who are them jerseys behind you? Got Alex
Uh-oh. Alex Wright and Martin Emerson are on the wall right now. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Let's go.
Hey, Jacob, I got one question for you, dog. Abdul or Travis, we doing backflips tonight, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Either one's
Cool. Hey, okay. So you haven't been sucked in by the Shador crowd yet. You haven't gotten bitten yet by the Shador crowd. It's okay. We appreciate you, Jacob. I'll say it, at least not 2. I will say that at least not at 2. That's my biggest hang up with all of it. I don't mind him if you trade back up. I don't. It's just a matter of going and spending premium draft capital on someone who, in my opinion, this is just me. I can't get myself to get to the point of where I think he can be a top 10 quarterback. That's just where I'm at. I can't. That's just where I'm at. I think he can be a long-term starter, but again, if you're just a long-term starter, I don't want to take that at 2. I want to take somebody who I think can be a franchise changer. Like that's who I wanted to. I don't like so that's where I'm at with it personally. That's why. And if we're being honest, I don't think we're ever going like it's if everything goes well, we're probably not going to be picking here for a long time. Why not just go get the premium asset? Because here's the thing, maybe I'm just crazy, but I think Shador is going to be available later on in the first round. So you could, if you truly want him, you could realistically get both. That's just my opinion, though.
No, I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. I think, and this is going to go full circle, Jacob. First and foremost, thanks for stopping by. But because I appreciate you, Jacob, because all off season you've been putting out some great articles, and I've been sharing them, and it was just battling against people who want Shador number 2 overall. It's been tough, Jacob. It's been tough. So I appreciate you, and I thank you. If anybody doesn't know some of the pieces that he's put out, I mean, please go to his Twitter page, which is kindly put there next to his name. So it's greatly appreciated. Jacob, is there one name that would come across the board at 2 that you would just rip your hair out, punch the TV, like who you would be like, why on earth did we do that? Within reason, right? I'm not talking about
me if Tyler Shook gets took by the Browns.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Tyler, although that's probably outside of the realm of possibility, more possible than like Travion Henderson going 2 overall. Right. But is there a name in the top 10 that you're like, did we seriously take Will Johnson at number 2 overall? What name would that be?
So it's kind of funny because I know you guys were talking just a little bit about the Saints as I was getting on here. I heard you guys mention something about that. So what I've been told, what I've heard is the Saints are not taking a quarterback, barring this guy being gone. And this is, and I've heard the Browns connected mostly in trade down situations, but I will lose my absolute ever-loving mind if they go Mykel Williams. Like, there is
really,
I get it. And by the way, that's what I'm told about the Saints. The Saints love Mykel Williams. So that's my understanding. He will probably be the 9th pick.
Yeah.
That's just what I was told yesterday. But I get some of the stuff. I want to bring this number up because I keep misrepresenting it. So I'm going to pull it up here off to the side. But you go physical tools, all those good things. You know the discussion. We all know the discussion of, oh, this guy's got this tool. It's got this tool. If he gets there, I get that. But like, bring up Mykel Williams here, who like I have not near the first round, but they've been 11%. That's his pass win rate in college as an edge rusher. 11% this year. And you talk about 15 hurries, 6 hits, 5 sacks. And he got 6 sacks the last couple of years, but he disappears. And it's like, I would rather let someone else figure it out. With Mykel Williams, and I'll even say Jalen, I'll throw Jalen Walker on there too. The 2 Georgia guys, the 2 outside Georgia guys. I would say those are guys that I could see, Trayvon Walker win a couple of years ago because of that. They were like physical upside, traits, all this stuff. And it's like, if they go Mykel Williams or Jalen Walker, that would probably mean that they trade back first. And that would piss me off. Just so we are clear. But yeah, if they go one of those guys, I can see both of those guys being successful, but I want someone else to figure it out. If I'm picking at 2, I want a franchise changer. You just said that. We just heard BK talk about that, right? Like I don't think projects are franchise changers, at least not immediately. And if I'm picking 2, there's literally only going to be one person gone. That's it. You literally have everything else in front of you. It is almost unbrowsable. Like I made that a noun there, an adjective or whatever that was.
Hey, Jacob. Here's the thing. You hear all the comps all the time. Teddy Bridgewater, Geno Smith, Andy Dalton. I'm sorry if I'm picking that 2. That doesn't inspire confidence in me. Like at least from a standpoint of like, because I get it. Obviously, comps can be, it depends on play style and all that is, and I get that. But I'm sorry, those play styles do not inspire confidence that quarterback can possibly get me to the promised land. I'm sorry. So for me, that's where I'm like, at the end of the day, again, if you want to take that in the middle to late first round, I'm here with you. I'm fine. Like, well, let's do it. Why not? But if you're talking about 2, where again. Just imagine how we would have all been feeling if, for whatever reason, the Browns used some of the logic that is put around on Browns Twitter in terms of just take the top-rated quarterback. We would have Mitch Trubisky and Myles Garrett would have been terrorizing the NFL and possibly even us. For years, while we would have just been sitting here wondering, well, dang, why didn't we just take the top elite athlete at that pick instead of just forcing it at 2? That's just where I'm at, honestly. Like, I'm just not for forcing picks at the end of the day. You don't feel like that guy can be the game changer of your organization that could possibly get you to a couple AFC title games and Super Bowls. Do not take him with premium draft capital. It's as simple as that.
I was just talking to Casey Kinnaman literally like 20 minutes ago on the phone. I was like, hey, but I just call him like, hey, buddy, how you doing? Where are we at? Because we're finally here. Just wanted to do a little vibe check. And that exact conversation came up where he's like, if you take him at 2, you got to play him now. And if they lose 4 games or 2 games in a row or whatever it is, Deion's going to be all over the place. If you take him at 26, and this is the comparison I made. The Browns traded up to 22 to take Brady Quinn with the Cowboys in, what was that, 2008? And
Same.
Yes, yeah.
That's Joe Thomas year, right?
Yeah. And yes, yeah, because he was Joe Thomas was their first round pick, and they traded up. But Brady Quinn, there was no expectation. They end up starting Derek Anderson and Charlie Fry and all this stuff. And Brady doesn't have to go in, and there was no expectation there. You take him at 33 because if I was putting money on Shedeur going in the first round, I might say no right now. But if you take him like that, 20s, 33, that expectation is no longer there. He is now in a quarterback competition with Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco, and he either has Abdul Carter helping him on the other side or he's throwing it to Travis Hunter. That is a lot better than whatever happens elsewhere. If you take him and then you're like I love Luther Burden, and you could probably get Luther Burden at 33 if you took Shedeur at 2. But Travis Hunter and Shedeur versus Shedeur and Luther Burden, I think that's a whole different level.
That's a completely different level. And I think go ahead.
I'm fine with the Browns trading up and taking Shedeur as long as it's not pick 22. I don't want us picking
that's the
22.
rule.
Yeah, like if it's 22, if I see the Browns have traded and it's number 22, I might crash out on that too.
I'll just shut it off.
I hate that number. I think they should take the number and just ban it from the organization. Like when it hits the 2100s, like don't even put the season, just put the number next to it.
Yeah,
just ban the number 22.
That's
2200.
a crazy video that you have of that for like the reason why 22 is cursed for the Cleveland Browns.
I hate it. I hate that number.
That's so funny. This question is for Jacob. I think so. Actually, we'll go both BK and Jacob because I already asked you this, KFC. If Andrew Berry hits on Travis Hunter and happens to hit on 33 and 67, was it 64? I'm getting them mixed up. 67. So if Andrew Berry basically and Kevin Stefanski hit on Travis Hunter's Rookie of the Year, they draft Jalen Milroe 33, but Jalen Milroe doesn't have to play. He sits behind Joe Flacco for 17 games and Kenny Pickett for 17 games. But then in 67, they get Quinshon Judkins or something, which I don't think he's going to be there, but Quinshon Judkins does really well as a running back, RB1 and Nick Chubb's RB2. But the season goes 5-12 or 6-11. Do you think Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski are fired?
Okay, so the first question is, for me, is kind of, was it bad? Like, was it a bad 5-12? Were they in a lot of close games? Like, that's a tricky question because my initial thought is to say, no, they don't survive because you're coming off a 3-win season. You have a good roster right now. There are still some significant roster holes, and quarterback is one of them. I 100% agree. But this roster is not so different than the one that won 11 games.
Yes.
11 games
really?
Years ago.
Yeah, really. Yeah, truly.
In theory, healthier than that roster, barring health. So my biggest thing is like, what is it? As long as if there's not like a Andrew Berry might survive that if he brought in a lot of talent. Just say, hey, the talent was there, but the quarterback play was dog crap, so to speak. That sort of thing. And you're like, Kevin couldn't coach it. But ultimately, if I had to say yes or no, I'd say no, they don't survive that. I don't. Because then you're saying 4 losing seasons in 6 years, and the last 2 years they won 8 or 9 games. I think they got to win 8 games this year. I get what you're saying, but I think they got to win.
And before you head out, BK, go give your answer.
No, I'll say this. I think if you're probably, let's say 7-11, somewhere on there, and you're in mostly every game and it's super competitive, then I think in that scenario, like, you have to look at it like you just got there. Like let's just break it down for what it is. If you're able to do that with the remnants of, whatever Joe Flacco is and whatever Kenny Pickett is, and let's say you see some flashes from that rookie that you drafted or whatever, I think that could be a positive step toward the next season in terms of, okay, well, hey, we were in a lot of one-score games that could have went either way. We feel a lot better because let's say we possibly drafted a young QB at 33 or 20 or whatever, and you feel better about the situation. I think they will stick around, and I think the next season they'll definitely be on the hot seat at that point, and they'll have to go out there and have a winning season. It just all depends on how it feels at the end of the day. If it feels like one of those situations where you're 5-12 and there's no hope at all, they're probably going to get fired. But if it's a situation where, let's say 7-11, let's say 8-9, 9-8, 10-7, somewhere around there, they're not going to get fired at that point. It just all depends on what it looks like on the field. Because again, like, records can be deceiving at the end of the day. I try to tell people that all the time.
3-14 was deceiving. We weren't a 3-14
exactly.
team last year.
Hey, I could. Hey, if you really go back and watch that season we went 0-16, we were in a lot of those games. Surprisingly, like it wasn't all just blowouts or anything. So it just again the record can be deceiving at the end of the day. It just really comes down to at the end of the day how does it feel out there. If you feel like every game you have an opportunity to win, then I don't think you need to tear it all down, in my opinion. But if it feels like one of those situations where it's just hopeless, like a Matt Eberflus situation, you might need to tear it down.
Yeah.
Where no one's listening to you and everybody.
Exactly. You lost the locker room. Yeah.
Like,
Thank you so much, BK, for stopping by, big dog.
I appreciate y'all.
Don't let them bully you too much online tonight.
Man.
If
we got a
Travis
couple
Hunter's
more
the pick.
hours, we got to stand strong, y'all. We can't give them the peer pressure or anything.
Absolutely.
Because a certain hive will try and sway you, but to stand strong. Stand 10 toes down.
I got the Abdul Carter. Abdul Carter jersey on in the flesh.
Hey, like I said,
it's still possible for the next 4 hours.
I need you to make that trip for the Jets game, and I need you to wear that Travis jersey, dog. I need you to do it for me.
We'll see if it comes in over season times if I order it now before the season starts. It's going to take 3 months. But thanks so much, BK, for stopping by.
Thank you, bro.
The legendary BK. Follow his dreams. Follow everything on socials at BKTPOD. POD. So, Jacob, now that we have while we still have you for a couple of minutes here, I kind of want to get if Travis Hunter is the pick. If Abdul Carter might be the pick, let's say it's Travis Hunter. What does 33-67 look like? What are some of that you have mocked out? I know you have a couple of mock drafts. What's the common theme here at 33-67-94?
So I've done a mock every Monday since January. So I've done like 16 of these things, or it might have been 20. I don't even know. It's just a ludicrous amount. But for me, just based on what I think plays out and the buzz I've heard, I've felt like 33 was the quarterback for a while. Like it's probably been a couple of weeks, even if that means going up to 26 or whatever that looks like, or trying to jump the Steelers or whatever. I've always kind of I'd say for about 2 or 3 weeks now, it's felt like, hey, they understand that with Cam gone at 1, there's not really a guy worth the second pick, but are there guys that have franchise quarterback traits? Yeah. I mean, it starts with Jalen Milroe, and I think that Milroe and Dart are the people. See, I got Dart a lot lower than most people, but I know the Browns like him quite a bit. And
the Darty party, Jacob, the Darty party.
I don't want to hear Jackson Dart praise. I hate him. I hate him as a prospect. I hate everything about him.
This is what I say about him. I see why you would do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would prefer if it was Jalen Milroe, or I would even probably prefer Will Howard, if I'm being honest. But I see why you would do it. And my thing is, if ultimately that's Kevin Stefanski's decision, and if that's a Kevin Stefanski, I want Jackson Dart, then I gotcha. Good, go for it. Great. I'm whatever. So I think 33 ultimately is the quarterback. Unless something wild happens and they're all gone. I don't see it. But because if say three of them right now, the last I checked on FanDuel, the over under on quarterbacks in the first round is at 2.5. Last week it was 3.5. So we're.
See, I remember early on, season had just ended. I think it was the week after we did a pod. And I remember talking to Manny and Jake that's on here. And I was like, Jackson Dart's going to climb draft boards once because at the time he was projected 5th, 4th round, somewhere in there. Yeah. According to mock draft stuff. And I was like, he's going to climb draft boards. He's going to, as closer we get to the combine, he's going to nail some stuff there, pro days, stuff like that's going to happen. He's going to be consensus, anywhere from mid first to second, somewhere in there. And I remember telling Jake after, and I was like, I don't like Jackson Dart. And I think it's just because I watch a lot of like SEC football, and I'm decent at picking which ones are going to ball, which ones are not, just because I don't know if how they fare against Kentucky. I weigh a lot on that. I know it's weird, but Kentucky has a decent defense. He struggled quite a bit outside of the times that we were running cover 2 and Trey Harris would just beeline to the end zone and he would just lob it up. Like, I mean, just an easy pass. Other than that, like when he had to actually make reads, that's when I saw Dart struggle. It's like when that first option wasn't there, he has to go to 2 and 3. He would just stand there and look like stressed and enforce something. Might work, might not. And I think that's where my dislike for Dart starts. It's his processing the field. Sorry, I got to zoom in. Choke me up a little bit. Processing the field is why I'm out on Dart, more or less.
Yeah, and then that comes back to what all of these quarterbacks not named Cam Ward are, developmental guys. Yeah. Like, if you take Dart, don't go crazy if he doesn't take a snap this year. Like, he probably will. But, like, if you take Dart, don't go crazy. But one thing that I say about it is, like, with him specifically is I will point out, just because we didn't see him do it a lot doesn't mean he can't. And I just mean going through progressions and going through reads and things like that, because a lot of that stuff is completely taken away from you by Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
Now, why did he do that? Is it because Dart can't do it? Like, and that's the counterpoint. You go back and forth between those things. And then you will point out Jackson Dart's 21. He's played a lot of football. He's only 21. That is very, very appealing to Andrew Berry, as everybody knows. So that's one thing to just kind of keep in mind with Jackson Dart as well. But I'm with you. He just needs time to figure out the mental side. I have no problem with Jackson Dart's physical tools. He's got the arm. He's accurate.
Got the moxie.
Yep. He can move. When that first read is there and open, if you give him an easy answer, he will make you pay.
Oh, for sure.
What's Kevin really good at? He's really good at giving his quarterbacks easy answers. The quarterbacks can just never take them, Sean. And right there in front of you, there's like 6 dudes. I don't know how there's 6 dudes because you can only have 5 wide receivers, but like there's 6 dudes open in front of you. Jack Conklin's not one of them. But that's one thing about Jackson Dart that, like, I would say, hey, for those reasons, even though I'm not huge on him, those are kind of some of the things that you go, well, Lane Kiffin did all this stuff for him to help him out, and I think Kevin can prop him up too. So my Jackson Dart point, and I'll wrap up the freaking Jackson Dart point because I got like 3 minutes. For everybody who doesn't know, I got to work tonight, so we're in a tough day for me. It's a holiday, and I'm working on Christmas. And but with Dart, don't panic if he does become the pick, because I think there is at least a path forward. My choice of Jalen Milroe has the highest ceiling of anybody in this draft. All the physical tools, everybody loves him. We've already seen him cleaning up footwork. We saw it from the Senior Bowl to the Combine, so we know what he's doing. So that's cool. But the 67 is the most interesting pick in the draft for the Browns. I would not be shocked by a running back there. I think running back or tight end. I think that makes a ton of sense. Now, there might be a tackle that they really like that falls there, and I like that. Although I keep mocking like Charles Grant, the William & Mary tackle at like 97. I love that pick. Or 94, I'm sorry. Yeah. But like doing that sort of thing. But I really do think, especially if they go Hunter, one of the quarterbacks, that they're going to be like, we need to continue to surround whoever the quarterback is. Even for this year, probably Joe Flacco starts week 1. And don't be surprised they go out there. It's a good tight end class. They did a lot of work on that tight end class. Mason Graham, Elijah Arroyo, those guys. Yeah. I said Mason Graham, Mason Taylor.
Yeah, I know who you mean.
I was like, that's not a name. Well, it is. He's a defensive tackle, but you get it. And the running backs, I think, Henderson, I think, is gone. I think Judkins is probably gone. But like a Dylan Sampson could be there, the Tennessee running back. But I really think they're going to prioritize playmakers with their first 3 picks. And then that kind of 94, 104, those kind of picks, I think you could see, like a corner or an edge rusher, unless it's Abdul Carter at 2. But I really do think day 2 is going to start out with them really focusing on making the quarterback's life easier.
So Jake, before you hop off, can I get your top 5 quarterbacks in this draft in in order? And
so Cam Ward's 1, Shedur's 2. And that Shedeur thing is me understanding he has a low ceiling, but also has a high floor because of the accuracy and the mentals. Jalen Milroe's 3, Will Howard's 4, and Jackson Dart is 5.
So in a just a dream scenario that I had, just absolute dream scenario.
Yeah.
I said Travis Hunter at 2, Conley Jr. at 33.
Yep.
Milroe at 4 or at 67.
Yep.
So would you say that I'm a non-ball knower by saying that? Because I've heard it a lot that I don't know ball because I picked Jalen Milroe at 67, just as a dream scenario,
No, I mean, there's a lot of people that have him there. Where's he?
Well, not even just the pick, just taking Milroe in general.
Oh no, that's stupid. I'm so sick and tired of that, and I'm not talking about you, Mac. No, I like to screw with Mac.
Shout out to Mike.
I get the concerns with Jalen Milroe, but go watch that Georgia game, man. Go watch that Georgia game. That's why you're drafting him, because that dude is going to make some money. But the question is, can you get him?
Well, you don't even have to watch this year. If you go back to the offense that Tommy Rees ran under Saban at Bama 2 years ago, the dude was great. I watched it firsthand, dude. The dude was the best quarterback I've watched play in person.
I had some adult beverages when I watched that Georgia game, so I don't remember it totally clear. I have watched the all 22. I remember writing after that, being like, that was Lamar Jackson with a bigger arm, because I think he's got a bigger arm. I think Lamar's was way more polished as a prospect, as a passer when he was coming out. But that was Lamar. Go watch that Georgia game, and that is why you draft him. Because if he reaches his peak, and it's a huge if, that guy's really freaking good at football.
And one thing that I'll add to the Jalen Milroe thing is, if you go back, if you just look at the offensive line play the last 2 years compared to what Bama usually has, it's not up to Bama par.
And Bama only had 1 wide receiver this year.
That's true. That's also very true.
Seriously, I got to bounce. I got to go to work. I appreciate you guys
so
much.
Thanks for helping on, man.
Many of these pre-draft episodes. I'll be on the OBR at 8:30 tonight during my lunch break. So hopefully breaking down that pick. So appreciate you, boys.
Appreciate you, Jake.
Have a great one. Happy draft day. So, I mean, what perfect timing. What a great show.
Yeah.
I'm getting weirdly nervous. It's like it's Christmas Day. It's like,
dude, I love draft day.
Draft day is amazing.
It is. I'm glad we can celebrate on the first day again.
Yes, yeah, and that's another thing. It's like Christmas, but it hasn't came the past 4 years. So it's like
since Down with the Browns has been a podcast, and we started this thing back in 2021. At the end of 2021, beginning of 2022, we've not had a first round pick.
No,
well, today.
So I never thought about that. So now it's like insane because it's surreal. It really is surreal. So I'm excited. I know it's going to be a good time. Yeah. There's one question that I had. There's one final question, and it's going to be just a really quick answer. So Aditi Kinkabala was just told by an anonymous GM once again that Shedeur Sanders might fall out of the first round completely. And there's just been so much Shedeur slander out there. But somebody I saw on Twitter said that the Shador slander is only because the Giants want the Browns to just pass on him at 2. I want to know what you think about that. I know I don't think that's the case because it won't take much for the Browns to pass on Shador at 2. Like if the Giants wanted that badly, then whatever.
I think Travis Hunter's a lock at 2. Like, I mean, I would about take it to the bank, honestly. I think he's a lock. Just because, like, if you go back to the pro day, the way that they were just mesmerized with Travis Hunter and just talked
they talked to him like crazy
player, and you could tell that was their guy. So I
don't mind. I like him. I think I'm gonna like him. Yeah,
I think he's the best pick in the draft. I think you can't go wrong. The only thing, I like Abdul Carter. I mean, I'm pretty sure I was the one that kind of got you boosted on that train at first.
Oh yeah.
But I'm at the point. It's just like because I thought they would be a little more hungry in free agency, getting people in places, and trades would happen. But where we're at currently, I don't think you can go defense with the first 3 picks unless just some weird thing happens and like a Walter Nolan's there at 33, or if there's just like a massive slide on some really good, like a Malachi Starks. Like if he's there at 33, you got to take these guys. Like
you got to take him. You don't have Juan Thornhill anymore. You got to take a safety.
Yeah, you got to.
So what is your final? So while we're live, what are your final thoughts if Travis Hunter's the pick?
We celebrate.
What's your son celebrating?
And they're celebrating.
I will tip my cap. I'm not going to crash out. I know a lot of people want me to crash out. I won't. I'm not going to crash out for Travis Hunter. I'll say I'm happy that we finally got a draft pick that I know for a fact won't get into trouble. Has a great head on their shoulders. No scandals when they get here. No cheating on their girlfriend or nothing. The whole girlfriend thing, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that concerns me. It's not something that's not him. It's going to be a nice breath of fresh air to have a NCAA cover athlete, a big name Adidas guy, fishing and football. So I love it.
Yep. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. And as always, go Browns.
Go Browns.